Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing great. So I recently uploaded a Shivalinga painting both here on YouTube and on Instagram. It was a realistic Shivalinga painting reel and a lot of you guys seem to really like it. In fact, on Instagram it has over 60,000 views. First of all, I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much. And even on YouTube I got a lot of encouragement and appreciation for that painting. And second of all, I got some DMs asking me to share a tutorial of that painting, and some of you all DM me asking how I created the water part of the painting realistically and asked if I could share a tutorial of that and share the process of it. So I thought, why not? But since I didn't really take a lot of clips while I was actually painting, like while I was painting, I didn't really take a lot of clips. I didn't shoot a lot of clips of the process because I just took enough to make a reel out of it and I was just involved in the process. So I can't really show a lot of the process of actually what I did while painting. But I thought, why not sit down and share the whole process of how I painted that and share every single detail of the painting and what led me to creating that Shivalinga painting, which looked very realistic and which you all seem to really like. So that is what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to sit down and share the tutorial slash share the whole process as to every single step from the beginning till the very end while I was painting the Shivalinga painting. I hope that it helps at least one of you watching this, and that being said, let's get started with the video. By the way, before I start talking about the process, I want to share that this is a 25 centimeter into 20 centimeter canvas and it is an acrylic painting. I'm telling the size especially because sometimes on camera or while watching the reels it might look bigger or smaller because of the camera angles, but it is a 25 centimeter into 20 centimeter canvas. So I started off with this sketch like I do with all of my paintings, and once I was done with the sketch I moved to the background first. Now I know some artists who actually focus on the subject first, like they paint the main subject of the painting first. Like for example, in my case, some people choose to paint the Shivalinga first and then go about painting the background, but that is not the process or that is not the strategy that I usually use because I like to come layer by layer. Since we know the background is the farthest from the eyesight, I choose to finish the background first and then I come to the layer which is closest to the eyes, which is painting the Shivalinga. It can be done either way, so you can choose to paint the background later on. I have seen some artists do that, but I just prefer to do it this way. I just feel like this method is more helpful when you are painting a realistic painting or when you don't want your painting to look very 2D-y. Because in a 2D painting the depth doesn't matter at all, but here since we're trying to make it look as realistic as possible, I'd say go with the background first, finish the background and then come back to painting the Shivalinga. For the background, I started off with the upper portion of the background, which in this case is a wall. I used a dark brown, specifically burnt umber, for most of the area of the first portion of the background, and then in the place where I knew the deepa or the diya was going to be, I made sure that the brown was slightly lighter because obviously since there is light, the background is going to be slightly lighter. For this I used a mix of burnt umber, burnt sienna and raw sienna. If you don't have raw sienna, you can also use yellow ochre because that is also going to be okay, because since we are going to focus on making it a lighter brown shade, mixing burnt umber with raw sienna will also work, or mixing burnt umber shade with yellow ochre also works. I also added this lighter shade to the other side of the Shivalinga, as you can see here, and this should be very subtle. It should not make it very obvious or very vibrant. Don't try to make it very vibrant. Then I blended everything really well. You can either use a blending brush or a sponge also if you don't have a blending brush, and if you have neither of these you can also use a normal brush, but just make sure that there is no brush strokes visible while you try to blend, because I know that sometimes can happen, and try to make it as seamless as possible. Now I know that this blending part can take a lot of time. Sometimes it can also be frustrating because it just doesn't match the vision that we have in your head, but be patient with it, and if you're not satisfied with a particular layer, just wait until that layer dries off and try to add another layer and make it the way you want it to look. I think that is one of the most beautiful things about acrylic paints. Now once the upper part of the background is done, I move to the lower part of the background, which is where the Shivalinga is placed. Like that is the ground slash the floor or the level where the Shivalinga is placed. Now for this part I didn't really focus too much on blending. I just used some raw sienna as the base and I used burnt sienna in the corners, as you can see in the painting, and I also didn't really focus too much on making it seamless. In fact, I purposefully created left and right brush strokes, especially under the deepa, because I wanted to keep it a little rough and not too subtle, because I felt that the reflection on the floor doesn't really look that perfect in real life. Also, don't stress too much on making it the exact same colors. If you want, you can change the color of the background, you can change the color of the wall, you can change the color of the floor. It's up to you. Just focus on the reflection part. We need to see that where the light is falling on, it should be indicated. Now, since the farthest layer or the background layer was done, I started painting the Shivalinga. Now, I know that the Shivalinga here is black in color, but imagine if you just paint the whole Shivalinga black, like just use black. It will not look good, simply said, because there is no element of reflection, there is no element of light, there is no element of shape there. So you need to focus on adding other colors to any painting for that matter, but especially in these kind of paintings where you want to make it look realistic, you need to make sure that one color will never do the job. You have to add other colors, you have to add different shades of the same color to give that dimension, to give that realistic effect. See, I know that essentially the Shivalinga is black in color, but just for that Shivalinga, I have used a combination or a mix of black, white, grey, in fact even blue to create that reflection or show reflection, and of course yellow and a bit of brown also, because there is a Deepa on the other side of the Shivalinga, so we have to show that that is being reflected too, right? So don't just paint the whole thing black, it will not look good, or at least will not yield the result that you want to get. Now in this, if you're wondering where should I use grey, where should I use white, where should I use blue, just imagine that there is an actual Shivalinga in front of you. You know that when you're observing a shape like that, the corner parts where there is more light falling or where there is more shine, I've added metallic blue for that reason. I think you can also add metallic green. And where there is light falling on the Shivalinga, focus on adding yellow there, because it will reflect on the Shivalinga. We need to show that. So on the side of the Shivalinga where the Diya is, I added a slight raw sienna tone, or I added slight yellow tone, because the warm light is falling on the Shivalinga too. So make sure to show that. Now for the top part of Shivalinga, I started off by adding slight metallic blue shade there on the other side where there is no Diya or Deepa or lamp. And for the side where the water is falling, start off by adding a little bit of yellow ochre or raw sienna for the lower part of the top part of the Shivalinga. I don't know if it makes sense. I'll try to show it by pointing out what I'm talking about on the picture. Basically add subtle hints of raw sienna and white on the side where the water is flowing and the Diya is there. Now for the Vibhuti lines, don't keep the color even throughout. Basically what I'm trying to say is start off by adding 3 white lines for the Vibhuti, but it should not be entirely white throughout the lines. Make sure that you are adding pure white for the Vibhuti lines on the side where the Deepa is, but as we go towards the other side, as we go towards the side where there is no lamp, make it a little bit greyish, make it a little bit orangish, because we know that only because the light is falling there, the Vibhuti lines are looking pure white. Otherwise, when there is no light, it might look a little bit greyish. So try to make a slight difference there. Try to subtly show that it is not entirely white. Now these might seem like small changes and you might think,
who is going to come and look at those Vibhuti lines up close? Who is going to think, oh, this is not pure white on the other side?
But it actually matters when you're trying to make a painting look realistic, because that is the thing. In a realistic painting, we are trying to make it as realistic as possible. So we need to focus on the light, where the light is falling, where it is not. So try to follow this step while you're painting. Now before I move further, I want to tell that do not paint the flowers first, okay? I know that flowers are fun to paint. I know that they add that effect and make anything look prettier, but we can paint the flowers in the very end. That is literally the last step, so do not worry about the flowers. We'll just focus on the Shivalinga, the lamp, the background and the water first, and then at last you can paint the flowers. Now, coming to the water portion of the painting, a lot of you have actually asked me about how I could paint the water look so realistic. I even got so many comments on Instagram and YouTube appreciating for how realistic the water flowing looks like. Now, I'll try to break it into pieces and explain it as clearly as I can. I hope that will help you in bringing out the same results. See, first of all, we know that water is technically colorless. Like there is no particular color for water. It is clear, it is transparent. But we can't just leave the canvas like that and say,
this is water, you just can't see it because it is well transparent.
We can't say that because we have to somehow show that the water is flowing even though it is colorless. And I understand how it can be a task for us artists, because we have to show something that has no color, but we are people who use colors to express. But I need you to understand something that will help you, okay? See, if you observe a stream or a tap water, let's take tap water as an example. If you observe tap water, when it is flowing calmly, you can see that the middle portion of that flow of water is transparent. If you have never observed it, stop this video and go and try it in the flowing tap water. You'll see that when the tap water or any stream of water is flowing calmly, when it is flowing without any force, and when it is flowing at a slow pace, you can observe that the middle portion of the water flow somewhat looks transparent and the corners look, or the border looks white, which is also kind of why I feel we sometimes perceive that water is white, right? Because let's just say with the same tap water, now put it to the extreme end of the flow, okay, make it extremely forceful, you will see that the flow of tap water is white. You cannot see anything transparent. There, at least there is very little bit of transparency, because the water is flowing at a forceful speed. Because the water is flowing at high intensity, it appears more white overall. But here, when we are doing Abhisheka for the Shivalinga, nobody is going to forcefully like spray water all over the linga. Usually the flow of, or the stream of Abhishekam, or the stream of water is very steady, it is very peaceful, it is very calm, right? So that is exactly what is happening here. For the flow of water, if you can see in the middle portion of it, I have kept it mostly transparent. Now how do you make something look transparent? Basically add the color which is present in the background, whether it is brown, light brown, yellow, green, black, whichever it is, add the color of the background in the middle portion of the water flow, which will make it seem like it is transparent. Also, don't just add that, try to add subtle layers of white or subtle layers of a grayish color, just to show that it is actually water and not the background itself. As you can see here, even though I have added the color of the background, which is brown here, I've also added lines of orange, brown and white. Okay, that has to be very subtle. You shouldn't add blocks of paint there, it shouldn't be thick layer of paint. I've added orange and yellow because again there is light, there is a deepa there, so the reflection will obviously fall off on the water. But there is also white, because like I said, you can't just make it just the color of the background, you should also add subtle layers of white. Also make sure that it is not pure colors, like don't take it directly from the paint tube and put it there. Dilute it as much as possible and put layers of it. Try to make it, work with it. Of course, it is trial and error in the first time. Observe the reference picture and make it work. And as the water gets closer to the Shivalinga, you can see that I have added more white. Like there is no more transparency in the water there, because it is falling on the surface. It is creating force there, so again it looks more white and not transparent anymore. And for the part where it flows on the Shivalinga, I have tried to add white, as you can see, and to show tiny droplets or the flowing droplets of water, I have first added grayish lines over there, and then subtly over that I have added some pitch white lines also to show that the water is completely flowing there. In fact, I don't think this painting is as realistic as I would have wanted it to be, but with what I've done, I'm just sharing that experience with you all. And then as it flows down, we also see that the water stream is also on the lower part of the Shivalinga, right? It is flowing outside the Shivalinga, especially for the part where there is a flow. But as it goes out the Shivalinga, that part is kind of tricky. I in fact tried to do a lot of trial and error, because it was just not looking like water for some reason. Trial and error a lot of times, because that is kind of what works sometimes. But what I've done is, as you can see here, in the portion where the water is almost out of the Shivalinga, I've added black, because there is a bend there, okay, because it is flowing out, there is a bend in the Shivalinga structure there. So add subtle white in the above corner and then make it pitch black in the downwards part. For this portion, we can't make it fully white, because even though the water is flowing through there, it will not be forceful by the time it reaches there, right? It is just flowing. Again, not just white here, also you should use some yellow. I have also used some green because there are leaves there, so I thought they might just be flowing, because the water is flowing, it might be taking some leaves along with it. So I've added some leaves also, like I have added some green tint in this flow of water, so you can do that also. But majorly keep the background color and also add some yellow, but add some white like layers, like white lines. It should be very subtle, don't make it proper slanting line. And as it flows down, as it touches the ground, it will obviously splash, right? Because the water is splashing down to the ground, add water droplets surrounding the part where it is falling down from. Like let's say there's a structure, it is falling down like this, but add water droplets surrounding that area, because it is splashing there will be water droplets or water throughout the place. So that is how the water portion of the painting was done, both on the upper stream and the lower side where it just flows out to the ground. I hope I made at least 10% sense and it helped you in some way. Now, I forgot to talk about the lamp. Basically, because it is a metallic structure, because it is not plastic, obviously we have to show the shine there, and for this I have actually used metallic colors. If you have them, definitely use them, it is helpful. If you don't, you can also use normal colors, but just try to add some shine there if possible. But what I've done is, now again for this there is a lot of dimension in this. If you can see, for the upper part of the diya, I already said add white majorly and make sure that it is reflecting well in the wall or the background. It is reflecting well and it is showing that the background is lighter in the place where the deepa is. Okay, and now coming to the lower part of the deepa or the diya. Lower part of the diya, I have used three major colors, which is subtleness of orange, and then bronze color, and then dark brown metallic color. I'll put the exact shade names of the metallic colors on the screen. For this, if you observe, I've made it very rough. Like, I have not focused on blending at all here. I've just tried to show where the light is falling, where it is not, and I've tried to add these three colors in a way it makes perfect sense as a realistic candle would look like. I've tried to make it as close to what it would look like in real life. For the down portion where there's a bend for the deepa, for that portion focus on making it a little lighter and use subtle brush strokes like this. Okay, don't try focus on blending at all, it is not necessary here. Add brush strokes like this and make sure that it goes darker as we go to the other side of the deepa. Okay, and at last, your favorite part, my favorite part, paint the flowers. I also added some bilva patra leaves on the Shivalinga, and that was it. Just play around with the flowers and try to make it look as realistic as possible, and then you will have your painting ready. So that is all for today's video. I hope it was helpful to you and that you learned something. And if you try this painting out and it turns out anyhow, let me know, DM me, send me your painting. I would love to see it. And if you would like to see more such tutorial videos or sharing the process videos, let me know in the comments below. I would love to do them. And like I said, I hope this video was helpful to you, and thank you so much for watching. I will put the reference image or the reference picture in the next 10 seconds of the video. You can either take a screenshot or you can come back to the video anytime you need it. And I will tag all of the products that I used in this painting in the description below if you want, check it out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.